Mr. Sumedh Badve, he's promoter of Belrise Industries, joins us right now on the show. And you know, it's good to be a promoter of, good to be a promoter at any point of time, but good to be a promoter of a company which has had a good listing and is being appreciated by the street as well. So Sumedh, great having you. Thanks so much for taking the time out. Just tell us a bit. I know we've spoken just before your listing, etc. But for people who are tuning in right now and want to know a bit about Belrise because it's a recent listing, just tell us in a nutshell, what do you do?
So we manufacture automotive parts and components across two-wheelers, three-wheelers, passenger cars, commercial vehicles, and agri products. We mainly work in the sheet metal space, but from an end-to-end value chain perspective, right from raw materials to not only processing all of that, but also to assembly and working very closely with our OEMs. We're transitioning from a traditional tier 1 supplier to a tier 0.5 supplier, where we're even more deeply entrenched with our customers, which are the OEMs. So that's largely what we do in the sheet metal as well as polymer as well as other proprietary product space.
Interesting. I haven't heard too many people talk about this phenomenon, but if you are transitioning to a desire to be a 0.5% supplier, or probably already there, so would be competition, right? Is it a hyper-competitive space right now to become the 0.5% or 0.5 tier supplier with an OEM?
I think it comes with a lot of trust. It's built on a legacy of having worked with OEMs over the past, multiple decades. And ultimately, when you're getting that deeply entrenched with an OEM, the customer essentially wants you to be an extension of their facility. So from a competition perspective, I would like to believe that it really depends on what kind of a value addition that you can do and what kind of relationship that you have with customers, which we believe we're at in one of the top few. So we wouldn't like to say it's very competitive.
Sumedh, good morning. Hiral on this side. Now that you're expanding into the four-wheeler space as well, how is that revenue contribution expected to pan out between two-wheelers and four-wheelers? And in turn, if you have to see in terms of the product profiles, how do you see profitability and margins being impacted?
Gotcha. So right now, our four-wheeler contribution is in our revenues is fairly small. It's only about 12 to 13%. As you know, in the automotive component space in the industry, about the two-wheeler industry versus the four-wheeler industry is about 3x the size. So there's a large opportunity for growth. We have capitalized as our economies of scale and achieved a market leadership position in the two-wheeler industry. We would like to believe that we can replicate that in the four-wheeler industry. The four-wheeler industry is looking very promising. There's an upward mobility across socioeconomic strata in India. The two-wheeler our two-wheeler buyers are now moving towards four-wheelers. And from that perspective, we believe there's a large opportunity to grow in that space. We've just completed an acquisition of this company called H1, which is owned by a Japanese parent called H1 Japan. And we've expanded our foray in the four-wheeler industry, and we believe there's a large opportunity to grow there.
Okay. Sumedh, very quickly, if you could give me a response to one of the brokerage notes which had indicated that any simplification of the Belrise group structure could potentially boost valuations further. If you can dwell on that as to what is the kind of simplification that could be expected.
Correct. So we have some of our dedicated suppliers, which are group companies, who are looking to simplify that structure, get it under one roof, and we expect that to happen in the next in due course, and that simplification is probably what it's referring to.
Okay, so that's the simplification you're watching out for as well. From here on, if you have to look at 2 or 3 years, say 3 years from now, what's the CAGR growth that you're expecting in terms of top line and bottom line?
So we would like to believe that I'll give you an approximate we expect to grow in the mid-teen space with stable margins. That's what we'd like to comment.
So, one final question. In a brokerage note that came out yesterday on your business, they've given some assumptions which you kind of corroborated. So I'm not going to question that at all. But one thing that they mentioned, that any simplification of group structure can boost further valuations. Now, Hiral asked you about it. My question to you would be that if you want to do it, are you prioritizing that in any fashion whatsoever in order to do this? And are there any timelines with regards to that?
So we are definitely prioritizing it. We have some internal timelines, but I think it should be fairly soon. That's as far as I can comment.
It is important to get the timelines going, and that's why I just asked you this question, Sumedh. Well, all the best, and look forward to talking to you post your numbers as well.
Most certainly. Looking forward. Thank you for your time today.
All right.